Welcome everyone. All right, we are going to do a bunch of hamstring stretching today. So work on the hamstring, work on the back. Both of those things connect to help you have a healthy back. So to that end, I always recommend a block or two if you have them, or a book, a firm pillow, anything. And if you've got a yoga strap, that's awesome. If you don't, like a t-shirt, a big t-shirt, or maybe a towel or a regular belt, any of those things, they're optional. You can do any of the things we're doing without them, but they will come in handy with some of the stretches that we do. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to start on our back. We're going to start and end in Savasana. So go ahead and come all the way down onto your back. I like to start with a deep stretch. So stretch the arms overhead, stretch the legs below, just reach long, take a deep inhale, and just open your mouth and let it go. And then bring your arms down by your side. We're not going to stay here forever because I don't want you to fall asleep, but I want you to take a moment to fully relax your body. So if you want to breathe in through the nose and blow it out through your lips, that can be very relaxing. If you want to just sigh it out through your mouth, or if you want to come to your normal inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. What I want you to do is relax. I want you to feel your shoulders sink into the mat, feel your legs sink into the mat, your hips. Nothing needs to be engaged here. Try to let go of everything. Breathe in through the nose, let it go. Let the muscles relax. And while you're lying here, I want you to consciously scan your body. So beginning with the toes, notice your feet, your ankles, your knees, your calves, and your shins. Notice if there's any pain, any tension. Notice your thighs, the backs and the fronts, your gluteal muscles, your hips. Again, notice if you're holding tension there. Notice if you feel any pain. Inhale energy to those areas. Exhale, release. Moving up your back, a lot of us will feel tightness and tension in our back. Notice that. Be aware of that. Where is it? Do you feel it in your middle back, your upper back? More on your right side, more on your left side? Maybe nothing at all. Just notice it. Notice your shoulders going down your arms. Are your hands cramped from typing? Are your shoulders cramped from hunching over a desk or a keyboard? Exhale, let them go. Notice your neck and any tension you might hold there. Going up into your jaw. Can you let go of your jaw? That's an area where we hold tension. Can you let go of your cheeks, your eyes, your forehead? I want you to start from a place of total relaxation, and then when you stretch those muscles, it will help facilitate that. And we're going to come back and we're going to finish in a similar way. So we'll kind of complete the cycle. As you're lying here, just let your head roll from one side to the other. Just let it kind of loll back and forth. Rocking to one side or rocking to the other. Bringing it to center. Bringing one knee into the chest, hold the shin and pull your shin in towards you, roll the ankle. So I'm starting with my right, but there's no rule on that. You can start with either. Try to hold your shin rather than your knee. I just always try to avoid pulling at any of our joints. Your shin can handle it. See if you can push the other leg away. So flex the left foot or whatever foot's on the mat. Push that leg away. Try to lengthen through that as you're pulling the opposite knee in. And then take your hand on that shin and move that leg in circles. So you're moving through the hip joint. Rotating that femur bone in the joint of the hip. And then reverse that direction, making circles the other way. Good, bring it back into center. And then switch. Hug the left leg in, stretch the right leg away. Roll the left ankle, or again, it doesn't matter. Either one first. Again, really actively push the lengthened leg away, flex the foot. Imagine you're pressing it into a wall. Really create length in that hamstring. And then take the hand on the shin and let's move in circles in this direction, either direction first. And reverse in that direction, and you're just inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Good, bringing that back to center. Go ahead and hug both knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug and a little rock from side to side. And we're going to move into warming up the back a little bit. So place those feet on the mat, about hips distance apart. So thighs are parallel, shins are parallel, feet are parallel. Place the palms on the mat and roll those shoulders back into the mat. See if you can bring your entire upper back in contact with the mat. If your low back is arched off the mat, which is common, pull the belly button in and adjust your pelvis. You can rock here in your pelvis so that your back is pressing in the mat. So your low back has eliminated that arch, belly is pulled in, you're engaged in the abdominals, ribs are zipped in, shoulders are on the mat. So it's quite an engaged posture, chin towards chest. We're going to lift our spine off the mat one vertebra at a time. So starting down here at the base of the spine, begin by just tilting the pelvis up, then we lift the pelvis up, and then you start to peel the back off the mat one vertebra at a time until you come all the way up to those shoulders. And then on the way down, pull the belly button in, try to make contact here with the upper back first, the middle back, the lower back, and the base of the spine and the pelvis. And do that with the breath. So it's an inhale to tilt up, and an exhale through nose or mouth, whichever you prefer, on the way down. And you can be moving slower or faster than me. Don't feel like you need to match my movement. Use your breath to inhale to tilt up, exhale to lower back down. We'll do this a few more times. Inhale to tilt up, exhale slowly. Your glutes are contracted here as well, otherwise your knees would kind of flop open. So it's a little bit of muscle engagement. This class is not so much about building muscle tone as it is about stretching and flexibility and relaxation, but that's not to say you're not using your muscles, right? Do one more wherever you are. If you're just starting one, that's fine. And then this time when you get all the way down to the mat, go ahead and just release all the way down to the mat. Okay, we're going to do actually a Pilates move here, which is Pilates leg circles. So this actually does work your abdominal muscles, but it's a great stretch for the leg, okay? So I'm gonna start with my right leg. Left foot's gonna be on the mat, right leg is gonna be extended. I'm gonna rotate that foot out. So the right toe is pointing out and the right heel is pointing slightly in, but it's the full hip. It's not just your ankle, right? We're rotating from the hip joint out. Your more advanced option on this is going to bring this left leg down, but that's going to start to arch your back for a lot of you. So you can bring it anywhere in between. Find the position where your back is pressing into the mat, and it works for you. It's not too challenging. We're going to go circles across the body first. Pretty small circles. So you bring the right leg across, down, and back to the top. So if you were tracing a pencil on the ceiling, it'd be like an extra large pizza. It's not a giant circle. Inhale for the first half, exhale for the second half. Trying to keep the hips stable, so that's where the abdominal work comes in. We try to keep the hips from wobbling around. If you've got your leg bent and you feel pretty good about it and you want to extend that leg a little bit, you could do that. If you want to extend it all the way, you can do that. But again, just protect that low back. You'll find this stretches you more. If you're pretty flexible, you'll find you want to do it with the leg straight. And then whenever you're ready, reverse direction. So go out first, swoop down, back to the top. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Keeping the hips stable so you're not rocking around. I often say it's like you're balancing a glass here. If that leg is extended, you'll really be feeling the abs work. If your leg is bent and your foot on the floor, it's a little bit easier on the abdominals. Do one more circle. And come back to the top. Now we're going to do big circles, as big as you want to make them, coming across the body first, same position with the leg. It can be bent or straight. Come all the way across, all the way down, and back to the top. Inhale, exhale, big circles, but the rest of the body isn't moving. It's just the leg working. Reverse that direction, across, or out rather, swoop down, across, and up. Out, down, across, and up. Last time, out, down, across, and up. Draw that leg in. If your left leg is not extended, go ahead and extend it to give yourself another stretch. And we'll switch. The right foot finds the mat, left leg extends up. Rotate from the hip, toes point out, heel points in. Palms are on the mat, shoulders down. Find that position where your back is pressed into the mat so you can move that right leg wherever works for you. Mine is always best about halfway. Starting with the small circles, across, down, out, and up. Really controlled here. Toe can be pointed, toe can be flexed, or toes can just be relaxed. Inhale for the first half, exhale for the second. As much as you can, keeping this left leg straight. And again, that is facilitated by bending the right knee. If you're struggling keeping that leg straight, it's probably because that other leg is straight, and if your hamstrings are tight, that's going to make it really hard. Go ahead and reverse that direction. So small circles. It's small on the hip. By the time it gets to your toe, it's bigger, but it's not giant. Keep the hips and the pelvis stable. No rocking around. Do about 3 more here. If it helps, put your hands on your hips and you can feel if they're moving. You're inhaling for the first half, exhaling for the second. Whenever you next come to the top, stop. And now we'll do big circles. So big, swooping across, swoop down, out, and up. As big as you want to make them, but still trying to stay pretty stable through the pelvis. So it's just the leg moving in the hip socket. Once you've done about 3, stop at the top and reverse. Out, down, and around. And again, doing about 3, I think I did 4 on the other one, 3 or 4. And then bend that knee in, stretch the other leg away if it's not already. Draw both knees in, give yourself a little rock. Good, we're gonna come into all fours. So rock yourself up to sit, come onto all fours. So we're gonna come back to focusing on the back for a moment. So hands are under shoulders, belly button in. Same idea with the back, right? We don't want to be dropping in the pelvis and putting this arch in our back when we're not engaged in the abs. So zip the belly in, pull the belly button towards the spine. Roll the shoulders down and back. Think about tucking your shoulder joint kind of into the scapula so you're not hunching forward, right? You're looking right in between your thumbs. And just like we were tilting on the floor, we start with the base of our spine. The pelvis tilts down, moving through the spine, 1 vertebra at a time. Chest lifts up, shoulders pull back, gaze comes up last. Exhale, pull the bottom of the back in, pull the belly button up, press up, arching through the back, head drops towards the chest. Inhale, so same idea, moving inhale through the nose, exhale through nose, or blowing out through your lips if you prefer. Moving at your pace, matching your breath to your movement. About 2 more times. Whatever pace that means for you, that's fine. Once you finished your second one, pause there in that neutral position. Belly button in as if you could balance something on your back. And then when you're ready, see if you can stabilize your hips. Weight even in both hands, weight on your left knee, and extend your right leg behind you. Flex your foot so you're pushing your heel away, just like we were doing a moment ago. Pushing the heel away, trying to create some stretch, some length in your right foot. Just balancing here, engaging the abdominals, pull the belly in, looking in between the hands. Point the toe now, unless your foot cramps. If your foot cramps, don't worry about it. Otherwise, if you can point it, great. And we're going to make circles here with the leg. We don't want to arch the back, so we're never lifting higher than hip height. It's relatively small circles. If you want to go all the way to the floor, that's fine, but we don't want to kick up. And reverse that direction. Inhaling and exhaling. We don't want to hold our breath. Excellent. Bring that leg forward, plant it down, find a runner's lunge. So knee comes over ankle, great opportunity for blocks depending on your flexibility. Curling up the back toe so that you're lifting that left leg, and now you're coming in a runner's lunge. Check that knee is over ankle, and the idea is to have a long spine, which is why the blocks will be helpful for some people because you can be up higher. Holding here, pushing through that left leg, really working on the hamstrings. Lots of focus on the hamstrings today. Holding for a couple of breaths. And then step the right foot back. I always do today's class in a modified plank. Anyone who wants to do full plank and full chaturanga, by all means do. I always do the modification today to make this a more beginner class. So I'm going to come to modified plank. Long line from my head down through my hips. Belly is still pulled in. We're not dropping the hips, right? Engaging the abs. Elbows hug the spine, the ribs as we lower down. Chest comes to the floor, chin comes to the floor, hips come into the floor. Extend the legs behind, hands right under the shoulders, elbows squeezing the ribs. Inhale, pressing up to baby cobra. Exhale, releasing down. Inhale, pressing up. Exhale, release. Inhale up. Exhale, release. One last time. Inhale, pressing up. Exhale, release. And pushing back onto your heels for just a short child's pose, 1 or 2 breaths, not a long time. Breathing into the back, sighing it out if you want to release. And then when you're ready, coming back to hands and knees, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, setting yourself up again. A few more cow cats. Inhaling, exhaling. Cow cat is one of those moves that as long as you can be on your knees, and in fact you can do cow cat in other positions, you should do this until your last dying breath on earth because it's so good for your spine. And if you can do it now, whether you're 8 or 80, you will always be able to do it. But we lose this ability as we get older if we don't practice. And that can lead to injury, it can lead to pain, it can lead to all kinds of not great things. So throughout the day, even on days you don't do a full yoga practice, just see if you can move your spine. All right, do one more cow cat. Whenever you exhale, work your way back to neutral. You're looking at your thumbs, belly is in, back is relatively flat. Some people have more of a curve than others, that's fine. Extend the left leg behind, first with the foot flex, so you're pushing the heel towards the back wall. Trying to get leg at hip height, but not higher than your hip, okay? That goes into your back. If you're not able to get it to hip height, that's fine, but don't go higher. Notice if you're tilting, see if you can square yourself off. That takes abdominal engagement. And then pointing that toe if that works. I'm getting a message on the screen, but you guys look like you're still there, so I think we're okay. Circling the leg one direction. The power did cut once earlier today, but it's been fine since, so hopefully we're good. And then reverse direction, which is really hard for me on this leg. I really struggle sometimes figuring out what direction is the opposite. Great, coming back to center, swing that leg through, plant it down, runner's lunge on this side. So bring that knee over the ankle. If your foot's way back here, just scooch it forward. And then when you're ready, curling up on the back toes, pressing into your runner's lunge. Taking a deep breath. Again, if it's uncomfortable, you just need to elevate your hands. So put a block under you, put pillows under you, put a couple of stable water bottles. Strong, sturdy children might work, I don't know, depends on your kids. Push through that heel. And then when you're ready, step the left foot back, plank, and then again, option to drop to your modified plank, your decision. I can't see you, do what you want to do. Lowering all the way down, chest, chin, and hips. This time, extend the legs back, slide your hands forward, coming into Sphinx. So we're going to do another, this is a Pilates exercise. It's to work the gluteals and also works the hamstrings, and because we're holding ourselves in this position, it's a lovely back extension. So make sure you're active here. You're pressing into your hands and your forearms. Chest is lifted, belly is peeling away from the mat, even if it's on the mat. It's the action is to lift up, not slump down, right? Extend the legs. It's 3 kicks, 3 breaths. So it's an inhale, flex the foot and kick. 1, 2, 3. As you exhale, inhale like you're resisting against weight on the way down. Let it go. Good. Inhale, kick. 3, 2, 1. Inhale against resistance on the way down. Switch legs. I'm inhaling through my mouth, but if that doesn't work for you, that's fine. I'm inhaling through my nose, and then kick. Inhale, resist on the way down, and kick. Inhale, resist, and kick. Inhale, resist. Last time each side. Inhale, resist. Last time. Inhale, resist. Release that down, slide the hands back, push up and back, child's pose once again. Keep your knees together on this one. Tuck your head towards your knees and breathe into your back so you're rounding your spine over here. Take a couple of breaths. Good, rising back up. Pressing into your feet, we're going to push up to down dog, but if down dog doesn't work for you, just stay in all fours. If you can do down dog, push up and back, coming to down dog. Jog through here, bending one knee, bending the other knee to activate those hamstrings again. And then press into the heels, press into the palms. If you're in down dog, rolling the shoulders away from the ears. Make sure you can shake your head no, nod your head yes. Take a breath. All right, we're going to come to high lunge. So whether you're in all fours or down dog, step your right foot forward and then press yourself up to high lunge. I'm going to bring hands to heart center. You could bring arms extended overhead if you want. I want you to think about growing tall, tall, tall through your spine. Shoulders are rolling down and back away from the ears, and we're pressing through that back leg. When I see people often when they're not thinking about what happens, even my own self, that leg just kind of ends up being soft, like it's not doing anything. The knee is bent, you're not stretching your hamstring. Activate that by pushing through that heel, finding a gaze in front of you, a focal point, and then if you want, if you're comfortable doing so, extend the arms overhead. Check that you're not tracking forward over your toes, your knee is over ankle, you're not out there. Inhale, exhale. Good. Press yourself up, pivot to the long side of your mat, turn those feet parallel, and release forward. Let your head go, let your body go. Walk the hands out in front of you, press into the palms, and then it's a bit like a down dog, where you think about pressing your sit bones up to the sky, release your head, release your neck, pressing into all 4 corners of your feet. Inhaling and exhaling. And then walk those hands back, let yourself go, just hang, let the head go, let it release. And then bend the knees a bit so you can roll yourself up. Pivot back and then step the back foot a little bit more forward. We're going to come to pyramid, and you don't want to be such a wide gap of your legs. So back foot is either parallel to the front foot or at a little bit of an angle, but the hips are forward. We're going to come to pyramid. Your options for pyramid are hands on hips, hands fist to fist, or hands palm to palm, reverse palm behind you. Straighten both legs. Think about lifting up through the chest. Think about pulling those shoulders down and back. And then we're going to hinge from the hips. Keep the spine long. Stop whenever your back starts to round. So maybe you're here and that's it. If you get to parallel to the floor, that's great. Some people can go beyond that, but just getting to parallel to the floor is really ideal. Because once you start going beyond that, it's really hard to keep the spine long, so I don't mess with it. Plus, I really want you to work on your hamstrings today. Notice your hips. What will tend to happen here is the back hip, if it's your left hip, will tend to rotate up. See if you can invite it forward and down so that your hips are square. Think about pulling your front hip back, pressing your back hip forward, and you'll tend to get yourself even. And then you want your neck in neutral, so you're looking out on the floor wherever is in front of you in line with your neck. So you're not craning up or dropping down. Good, and then press yourself up. Excellent. We're going to step this left foot forward. We're going to come to balance on our right leg. So bring that knee into the chest just like we did when we were on the mat. Hug the knee in. Try to stand tall. You'll tend to I often will find myself leaning backwards in this. See if you can stay more vertical. I'm going to turn towards you so you can see me. And I'm going to find my balance again. And then I want you to open this leg up. So if you have a hand on wall or chair, that's great. I want you to hold the shin and just gently see if you can open that leg out. This is on an invisible chair. You might have a real chair or a wall. Out here will also just help you balance a bit more. I sometimes like to do hand on hip, doesn't matter. Bring it back to center. I'm going to turn back around. Reget my balance. Release the hand from the leg and extend that leg in front of you. Flex the foot. See if you can hold it there for a moment. And step that foot down. Take a deep inhale up. Open up slightly towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring hands to heart center. Okay, take an inhale, extend up. Exhale, hinge forward and release. Let the head go, let the back go. Shake it out. Try to straighten your legs here. And we're going to slide halfway up to Ardha Uttanasana. So sliding hands up the shins, not to the knees. Keep them on the shins. Just like we've been doing, that same long back. So it's more common here for people to round through the upper back. So what I like to think about is if you imagine your t-shirt or a tank top, whatever you're wearing, see if you can have the fabric at the top of it not touch your back. See if you can pull your skin away from it. Of course you can't actually do that, but that sensation gives you the idea of a flat back. Or imagine my palm presses here between your shoulder blades. Pull the belly button in, you're looking on the floor somewhere out in front of you, and be aware of your knees. It's very easy to lock them here. We want soft knees but straight legs. One more inhale, and as you exhale, go ahead and release that down. Bend your knees so your hands can find the mat. Step one foot back, drop to the knee. Step the other foot back, drop to the other knee. Modified plank, or of course you could do full plank. Lowering down, chest, chin, hips to the mat. Inhale, we'll press right up to cobra. Exhale, your option, come to all fours or come up to your downward facing dog. You decide. Press into the palms, press into the heels. Shake your head yes if you're in down dog. Shake your head no. And then we'll step the left foot forward, coming to high lunge on the left. So step it forward, knee over ankle. Once you're stable and in position, pressing up. Hands to heart center, pushing through that back heel, bringing the hips square. You can get as deep a bend as you want, but again, down, not forward. And then what's that back leg doing? Push away with the heel, try to straighten it. Once you're there, if you want, extending the arms up. If you want, slightly opening the chest towards the ceiling, taking a couple of breaths. Good, bring hands back. Pivot, I'm just going to turn around so I'm not back to you, but just pivot on the long end of your mat again. Feet parallel, hands to hips, hinge forward, finding that same kind of flat back position we just did a moment ago. Belly button pulling in. So you're using your core here. If that's too much, this is another time a block might help you. You could put your hands on a block. and support your weight there more. And then release this all the way down. Let the head go. Grabbing calves or ankles with your hands, pull the crown of your head downwards towards the mat. Taking a few deep breaths. Release the hands, bend the knees, roll yourself up. Pivot so your left foot is forward now. Step the right foot a little bit closer to it, and your option again, that right foot's either parallel or at a little bit of an angle. Hips are forward, hands on hips, fist to fist, or reverse prayer. Pull the shoulders back away from the ears, lifting up through the chest. Imagine growing taller here, and then hinge forward. So it's like your chest is leading. Someone's pulling you by the sternum forward, but your hips are rooted in the mat. Again, working towards parallel to the floor. If you don't get there, that's fine. Once you're there, notice your hips. Pull your right hip forward, left hip back. Looking on the mat, out in front of your toes. Trying to straighten the legs. So you should really be feeling a stretch in your hamstring. If they're quite tight and the knees are bent, that's okay. But work towards straight legs to get that nice stretch. Inhale, exhale. Good, pressing back up. Balancing on this side. So we're going to step onto the left foot, draw the right knee into the body, standing up nice and tall. Holding the shin, not the knee. Grabbing the shin, opening that leg out. So same thing, I've got the wall here next to me. If you need the balance, you can hold onto the wall. You could just extend your arms straight out. I like to put my hand on my hip. That makes me feel more stable. Focusing on a point in front of you. And then bringing that leg back to center, extending it, flex the foot, see if you can hold it. This is very hard to do. Don't feel like it's easy. It looks kind of easy, it's not. And then step that foot down. Take a deep inhale up. Exhale forward, straighten the legs. Grab hold wherever you can reach. Maybe that's calves, maybe that's ankles. Some of you might be able to reach your big toes. You can grab them. And if you want, you could actually put your hands all the way under your feet in Padahastasana. So your fingers are in the middle of your feet, your toes are on your wrists. Wherever you are, use your muscles to pull your body downwards, straightening your leg as much as you can. Breathing into this stretch. Deep inhales, long exhales. And then release the hands, bend the knees so your hands can find the mat. Step one foot back, coming to knees. Step the other foot back into your modified plank. Holding here for a moment. Pivoting into a side plank. So I'm going to come to the left side. Left knee on the mat. Right leg extends, left hand is on the mat, right arm extends, right arm reaches over, lift that right leg, and just like we've been doing, we're going to do circles. I gotta move my block. We're going to do circles with the legs, so little circles in the whole femur. If the arm here is uncomfortable, you could bring it to the hip. And then reverse that direction. Lift the leg up, bend the knee, option here to catch the foot in the hand. Kick the foot into the hand. So you should be feeling a hip opener, hip flexor stretch here. We're not reaching back into it, right? We're keeping the spine stable, but kicking, pushing the foot into the hand to create that stretch in the front. Good, extend that back out, press yourself back up. Bring the right hand to the hip, extend the left arm up, nice and tall, and then just a little bit of a lateral bend here. It's a modification of gait. You can release that arm if you want, but what I don't want is you to put your hand on your knee and put pressure on your knee. So we're not taking it quite as deep as a full gate pose. Good, and press yourself up. Come on back over into that modified plank position. Let's lower all the way down, chest, chin, and hips. Hands right under the shoulders, squeeze the elbows to the ribs. Press up and hold a cobra. It can be baby cobra or it can be deeper. But elbows should stay by the side, shoulders should stay down. If we're here, that's not such a great look. Not good on the body. I don't actually care what you look like. It's what your body looks like in terms of alignment. And release that down. Find modified plank again. So push up into your hands and your knees into that modified plank. Pivot into a modified side plank. So right knee on the mat, right hand under the shoulder, left leg extends. Left arm, pick your poison. Arm can extend overhead, arm can reach straight up, arm can stay on hip. Lift the left leg, and let's make little circles with that leg. 3, 2, and 1. Reverse direction. Good, hold it up, bend the knee, option to reach the hand back, kick the foot into the hand. Holding and breathing. And then release that, press yourself up. I'm just scooching. Left hand on hip, right arm extends, left foot is planted, reaching up and over. And again, if you don't like the hand on hip, if it feels like you're crunching up through here, just let the arm go. I'm not doing full gate because I want to protect your knee, so we're just doing a modification. Take a couple breaths. You're still getting, you can see this lovely side bend in my spine, bending over, lateral bend. And then cartwheel that around, hands find the mat. Step the foot back for a moment of regular plank. Option to come to all fours, option to push up, downward facing dog. Last down dog, pressing the heels into the mat, pressing the palms into the mat, or again, you can be in all fours, totally fine. And then dropping down to knees. This time bring the toes together, separate the knees, and sit back on your heels, reaching the arms forward for a resting warrior. Head finds the mat. Breathe into it. Good, bring yourself up. Bring those legs around. We're going to do a modified reverse plank for our shoulders. So bending your knees, feet on the mat, hands right under the shoulders, toes or fingers pointing towards the toes. If you want to do a full plank, that's fine. We're just going to do one tonight, and I'm going to do it modified. So we're going to press up. The idea here is you get to hear, everyone can probably do this. What I want you to do is see if you can really press the hips up, see if you can get parallel to the floor, and see if you can pull the shoulders back. It's not easy to do. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the abs, chin to chest to protect the neck rather than dropping back here. Inhale, exhale. This is a bit of a shoulder opener, heart opener. And release that down to the mat. Extend the legs long. I'm going to hit the wall. I need to scooch out. Okay. I don't know why I walk away from you. Flexing the feet, sitting tall through the spine. Inhale up. And we're going to do some breath with movement. We're going to exhale forward. Inhale. Exhale, release. Next time you inhale, rolling up, extending all the way up. Exhale forward. Inhale here. Let it go. Next time you inhale, come on up. Last time, exhale forward. One breath. Next time you inhale, come on up. All right, if you have a yoga strap or something similar, grab it. If you don't, it's okay. It's just a nice way to, These are, again, pretty affordable and multi-purpose. Don't take up a lot of space, and they're really light, so you can travel with them. So, but you could use a towel, you could use a t-shirt, you could use a regular belt. You do not have to have a yoga strap. Hook that, whatever you're using, over your feet. You want something longer so that you can sit tall. So notice my spine is tall. I'm not having to reach to grab it. Sitting nice and tall. Roll the shoulders into their back pockets, belly button in, chin towards chest. I want you to use your arms to pull yourself forward, just like we did before, where you're leading with your sternum. And as you go, you can wrap the strap around to pull yourself a little bit more. Flex the feet against it. Your gaze is still forward. If you get any closer, you can keep going. Chest is lifting. Feet are flexed. Those of you who have more flexibility, if you end up grabbing your feet, that's fine. But what I'd like to see here is long spine, not hunching over. You're not trying to bring the crown of your head down. I want you to lengthen, lengthen, lengthen through your spine. You should be really feeling it down here in your low spine. Imagine these vertebrae are just stretching apart instead of compressing, which is what they like to do. I mean, they don't like to do it, it's just what they do. Because we sit or we stand and we put a lot of pressure in that area. And then now go ahead and release, and now just let yourself round over. Do whatever feels good. Take a few breaths. And bring yourself up. My phone is ringing. It's not for me. All I get is wrong numbers on that phone. Bend your knees. Hold on to the backs of your thighs. Pull your belly button in. Roll yourself all the way down. Stretch your legs long. Stretch your arms overhead. All right, so grabbing the strap or whatever you're using, again, it's optional. You can do this without it. It's just easier to have something. One leg is long, I'm bending my right leg in. I'm going to hook the strap on the right arch of my foot and extend it. If you can, straighten this leg, but again, if it's arching your back, if it doesn't feel right, bend it. Not a big deal. If you have really tight hamstrings, you're going to have to bend it. That's totally fine. Find the right position for you. If you're able to straighten it, if you're working on increased flexibility, you can really actively press that heel down and you're going to build that flexibility. Roll the shoulders into their back pockets. So whatever you're using to hold on, make sure you've got enough length that your back can be on the mat. If you haven't got anything, you're just stretching your leg up like so. You could also bring your hand behind your thigh, okay? If you're using a strap or something, press into the arch, push your heel away. Nice straight leg here. Breathe into it. All right, similar to what we did before in terms of opening up, I'm going to open up the hips from here. So if you're using a strap, grab both hands, grab the strap in one hand, both straps in one hand, and then open that leg out to the side. If you're not using a strap, again, you can hold on with your leg and you just won't go quite as far because you're not going to be able to hold it, which is fine. Try to keep your left hip, or whatever the opposite hip is, in the mat. It's going to want to lift and roll you over. This leg, those of you who are ex-dancers, your leg might go all the way to the floor. But for the rest of us mere mortals, it's not going to. So that hip needs to stay grounded in the mat and the leg is just going to be somewhere in space. But you're supporting it with your old t-shirt, with your towel, with your leather belt, your yoga belt. And then bring the leg across the body, switching hands. Again, keep the hip rooted. We're not twisting the spine here, so you're not going to go very far. I'm only 18 inches from the wall, and I'm not even touching the wall. Because I don't want to roll over. I want to keep this right hip pretty grounded in the mat. You should feel a pretty intense stretch up the side of the leg here. Good, and bring that back to center. Release that. Hug that knee into the chest. We're going to do our spinal twist from here. So your option to keep the left leg extended, or if you have less twisting in you, go ahead and bend that knee and roll to the left. right shoulder stays in the mat. If that spine is more flexible, you can extend that left leg and let that right knee come all the way down. You can also put a block under your knee, and that can sometimes be more comfortable rather than having your knee hovering in space. You can cactus your arms or you can extend them long, but really try to get that right shoulder towards the mat. Again, it's a really nice assist if you have a friend that can come and just place their hand here, right here in the soft part between your shoulder and like the top of your ribs. That feels really good to just open that up. You can do it to yourself, but it's a little bit harder. And since we're not going to have hands-on assist in yoga classes anytime soon, and bring that back to center. Bring both knees into the chest. Give yourself a little rock. And we'll switch sides. So right foot either finds the mat or maybe that right leg extends. You decide. It depends on your body. Hook the belt or whatever you're using in the arch of your left foot and see if you can extend that leg. And again, it kind of defeats the purpose of your leg hunching up through here. I'd rather you just be hanging out like this with that foot planted and maybe holding here. This is totally acceptable. All right, so work with what you've got. But we all have something, so just find something around the house that will work, so when you want to do stretches like this, you can do this. If it's not a yoga strap, that's fine. You're gently pulling it towards you. We're trying to create extra length in the hamstring here, so really push that heel away. If your hamstrings are really tight, this might feel quite uncomfortable. It shouldn't be painful. We should not be ripping hamstrings here. Don't force anything. This is to prevent hamstring injury, not cause it. And again, if you want, bring the one hand to grab both the straps, put the right hand on the right hip, open that left leg out. You're feeling now a stretch in the inner thigh. You can go as low as you can go. Some people are really flexible and open their hips and that leg is just going to go all the way up. But I, as you can see, well, I'm at the wall. But even if I weren't, my leg doesn't do that. Take some nice long breaths. When you're ready, switch hands, pull that leg across, and again, keep the left hip in the mat. Ooh, that feels really tight along there as you bring the leg across the body. If you allow the hip to roll, you don't get the same stretch. So if you can keep that left hip more grounded, you'll feel a much better stretch in the hamstrings. So you won't get tons of movement in your leg, and that's fine. Take a few deep breaths here. And bring that leg back. Release it, unhook your strap. So same option, both knees can come in and you can simply come here. And if the knees don't find the mat, put a block under it. That's your twist. If your knees do find the mat and you want more of a twist, extend that bottom leg and your knee comes all the way across. But make sure you're not just rolling over on your side. We want the spinal twist. So bring that left shoulder to the mat, right shoulder to the mat, turning and looking over the left, and breathe into it. You should feel this release in the low back. It's twisting your whole spine, but you particularly do this for a low back. And bring yourself back to center. Center yourself on the mat. Hug both knees in. Give yourself a little rock from side to side. So the past few weeks we've been doing pranayama. I've been doing this singing bowl accompaniment to breath, but I haven't got my speaker right here, so nor my phone. So I wanted today to do a body scan instead. So find yourself comfortable. If you need to do a happy baby, if you want to do a shortened version, you can do that. And then whenever you're ready, bring yourself to savasana or whatever position is going to be most comfortable for you. You can roll those palms up, shoulders down and back, separate the legs. If you wanted to, if it felt safe to have hand on heart center and hand on abdomen, if you like that for the focused breathing, you can do that too. You decide. And close your eyes. And whenever you get to where you're going, take an inhale through the nose and open your mouth and let it go. Whenever you let all the air go, take another breath in. Open your mouth and let it go. And just relax. So stay there and just bring your attention to your body. And as I said, I want to do a body scan relaxation for you. So it's just to bring your awareness to your body. You're inhaling through your nose and gently exhaling through your nose. And as we scan the body, trying to relax each part of it. So bringing your attention to your toes and to your feet. Breathing energy in. Exhale, relax. If it helps, you can tighten and clench the areas of the body that we bring focus to, and then exhale, release. Some people like that, others do not. So you decide. You can either simply bring your awareness to those areas, or you can actually squeeze them and tighten them, and then exhale, relax. Moving up the legs to the calves and to the knees. Breathing into them. Option to contract and to squeeze them. And then when you exhale, let go of the muscles. Feel their weight in the mat. Breathing into the thighs, the backs and the fronts. Option to tighten them. And then as you exhale, let them go and release. Breathing in, drawing your attention to your hips, your gluteal muscles, your pelvis. Option to squeeze and tighten those muscles. When you exhale, release, relax. Feel the weight of your legs from your hips all the way down to your heels. Notice them pressing into the mat. Notice your contact with the earth. Notice their heaviness. Let go of any tension that you're holding. Breathing into your low back and breathing into your abdomen. Drawing your focus and your energy there. Exhale, relax. Breathing into your ribs, feeling the ribs expand. Noticing the side of your body, the middle of your back, your solar plexus. Again, tightening if you wish. Exhale, let it go. Feel the ribs spread and relax. Bringing your awareness to your upper back, across your chest and your shoulders. Inhaling energy. Exhale, let them go. Feel your entire back, your entire front of your torso release and relax. Feel your shoulders pressing into the mat. Notice where your back naturally makes contact with the mat. Feel it be heavy. And bringing your attention to the shoulders and down the tops of your arms, your biceps and triceps. Option to tighten them. And when you exhale, release and relax. Drawing your attention to your elbows, your forearms. Inhaling, exhaling, feeling them release. And drawing your attention to your wrists, your palms, your hands. Again, option to clench the fists, tighten the muscles. And then as you exhale, let it go. Your palms are soft. When they're relaxed, your fingers might gently curl inward. Notice the backs of your palms on the mat. Notice the weight of your arms. Inhaling energy, exhaling, releasing. And bringing your attention up your neck to your jaw, behind your ears, the base of your skull. Exhale, release and relax. Drawing your energy and your breath into your cheeks, your eyes, your forehead, the crown of your head. As you exhale, release and relax. Notice the point on the back of your head that presses into the mat. Notice the heaviness of your skull. Notice your state of mind and state of awareness. And just take a moment here, relaxed, breath even. If there's any area of your body that needs attention, breathe into it. Exhale to let it go. Your breath is more gentle, more shallow. Simply inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Give yourself one moment here to just be, to just breathe. And then allow the breath to deepen once again as you inhale, feeling your chest and your abdomen expand. Imagine that breath travels all the way to the fingers and toes, reawakening and re-energizing the body. Wiggling fingers and toes, rolling wrists and ankles. Just as we started, rolling the head from side to side. When you're ready, drawing your knees towards your chest. Go ahead and roll yourself over onto one side, pausing there for a moment in the fetal position. And then bring yourself up to a seated position, legs crossed in front of you. Allow your palms to just rest in your lap, sitting up nice and tall. And take a moment here one last time to just pass an internal eye, noticing your state of mental awareness, your state of emotional being, your state of well-being in your body, in your mind, in your heart. Take an inhale as you extend the arms up overhead, pressing the palms together. Exhale as you bring the hands to heart center. Thumbs pressing in the solar plexus. And take a moment to now notice your state of mental awareness, your state of emotion. Remembering to be kind to yourself, be grateful to yourself for your practice. Thank yourself for stepping foot on the mat, which is the hardest part of the practice. Thank your body for all that it does for you. And let go of any judgment for things that you think you wish you could do. Wherever you are right now in your journey is where you're meant to be. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.